Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Football Predictions and High Value Odds, and today I'm going to be giving out picks for Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So part one for the international break, and then the second part is going to come out on Saturday. For the newcomers, I suggest that you bet on goals instead of outcomes of games, and also focus on single games at maximum doubles. Try to get odds closer to 2 instead of the huge accumulators that you're putting. Now let's start off with the Thursday's game. So let's head to Group A game between Georgia and Scotland. Scotland have the same amount of points as Spain in the group. It's at 15. That's due to their loss 2-0 in Spain. It was actually the same result they had in Scotland, but they won that game 2-0. So now the goal difference matters, and Spain is currently +7 on Scotland. So Scotland will have to win big if they want to qualify on goal difference, which is not going to happen. +7 is way too much. But that's thanks to the huge victory Spain had in Georgia. It finished 1-7 that game, and that's why the goal difference matters now. While Georgia's last 2 home games, they scored 12 goals. 4-0 against Cyprus, and the other game was a friendly. 8-0 against Thailand. While Scotland is coming off 3 straight losses, even though 2 of those games were friendlies against big teams. And this game is still huge for Scotland, and that's why I'm wondering why the bookies are giving us such high odds for Scotland to win. It's currently at 210. But as you know, on this channel, we only roll with goals. So my tip for you guys would be to go with over 1. Play the safe route here. The odds are currently at 150. So Scotland just to score over 1 goal, meaning if they score 1, you get a refund. If they score over 1.5, you win the bet. And you only lose if they don't score, which I don't think is going to be happening in this game. Now for the second tip, we head to Group F, a game between Estonia and Austria. Austria is currently second in the group. They're at 16. They're already automatically qualified with Belgium. But they had a huge loss against Belgium at home. They lost that game 2-3. They almost made a crazy comeback because they were losing that game 3-0. But Belgium left the window open for the first place because they drew against Sweden 1-1 at home. So Austria still has a little chance, even though I believe it's highly unlikely because Belgium play Azerbaijan their last game. So I think they're going to be winning that one. As for Estonia, they're last in the group. They only have 1 draw. And in the last 4 games, they have conceded 2 or more goals. And of course, they lost all of those games. And I think that trend will continue. I see Austria close in this group with a W. I just hope it's not going to be a 0-1 victory, because my tip here would be is to ride with Austria to score 2 goals, so over 1.5. However, the bookies are only giving us odds 145, which is pretty low considering Austria have to score 2 goals. But I'm taking it. I'm confident in Austria. Now for the third tip, we head to Group G, a game between Bulgaria and Hungary. Bulgaria is last in the group, only 2 points, so they have no victories. And Hungary is first. They have 1 point ahead of Serbia, and they also have 1 game in hand. So if they win this game, they officially qualify. And Hungary is a clutch team. They have been winning a lot of close games. The only game that they won by a 3-goal margin was actually against Bulgaria at home. And I think they're going to be closing this group out with a victory. So my tip here would be is to go with Hungary over 1.5 goals. And the odds here are much higher than the Austria game. It's at 186. We stay in the same group. I will not be taking this game. So this is just a suggestion. A game between Montenegro and Lithuania. 2 teams that are 2 points apart from each other. Montenegro still has a chance to qualify, but it's less than 1% because they'll have to win out. So they'll have to beat Lithuania, and then they go to Hungary. They'll have to win that game as well. Then they'll have to wait for a positive result from Bulgaria in Serbia. So as I said, 1% highly unlikely, but miracles do happen in football. But the real reason I'm suggesting you this game is because Lithuania has been scoring a lot of goals. 4 consecutive games, they scored at least 1 goal. 2-2 against Lithuania, then they score against Serbia, then they win away against Bulgaria 0-2, and their last game again against Lithuania, a 2-2 draw. So they have scored 4 in a row and 2 or more goals in 3 out of the 4 games. And this game could be potentially BTTS, because I also think Montenegro is going to be scoring. The magnitude of this game is huge for them. And the bookies are currently giving us odds 233. So guys, look at this bet. I will not be taking it, just a suggestion. Now, the last suggestion I have for the Thursday's games comes from the African qualifications for the World Cup. I checked out many games, but I didn't find anything interesting except this game, because a lot of African games usually tend to go low scoring. And as you know, on this channel, we bet on goals. That's not great for us. And the only game that I found was Cape Verde against Angola. And there's really one stat that I like in this game is that Cape Verde has been conceding a lot of goals. In 3 consecutive games, they have conceded 2 or more goals. Thing is, two of them were friendly, so that's fair, but they lost pretty badly. Against Comoros, they lost 1-2, and the odds for Comoros were around 15, I believe, and then they lost 5-1 against Algeria. So in total, that's 10 conceded goals in 3 games, and they're playing a decent Angola team. They don't play many high-scoring games, but they've been producing decent results, and the bookies are giving us odds 161 for Angola just to score against Cape Verde. And the reason I'm not taking many African games right now is because it's only the first round. Let's see how it develops. Maybe we're going to be taking more games in the near future. Now, let's start off with the Friday's tips, and let's start with the South America's World Cup qualifications. Huge game, Colombia against Brazil. Colombia is currently 1 point ahead of Brazil in the table, and they're one of the 2 teams that still haven't lost after 4 games. The other being, of course, the World Cup champions. They won 4 in a row. But Colombia has won 1, and they have 3 draws in a row. And Brazil, shockingly, has only 1 point in the last 2 games. They had a disastrous draw against Venezuela, 1-1 at home, and then they had the loss 2-0 against a really good Uruguay team. And this is another huge test for Brazil. Colombia is playing at home, just like majority of South American teams. When they play at home, they win the games, and they tend to be low scoring, and Colombia is amazing at home. But this Brazil we're talking about, on paper, to me, Brazil and France are the best teams in the world. And actually, the bookies released the early favorites for the World Cup 2026. Brazil is currently at 650, and France is the second favorite. It's at 7. And what is England doing there at 8? It's not coming home, guys. Anyway, so my first tip for Friday will be to ride with the favorite, to go with Brazil over 1 goal. The bookies are giving us decent odds at 175. However, the only concern I have about this game is that it finishes 0-0. What do you guys think about this game? Now, let's get back to the Euro qualifications, a game between Moldova and the most surprising team in the tournament in Albania. There's still a lot to play for in this group. Even Moldova is not mathematically out because they still have to play Czech Republic as the last game away. And Albania didn't officially secure the first spot yet. I've been wrong on Albania many times before on this channel. They are a solid team, especially defensively. And for the first time, I'm going to be riding with them. So boys, don't let me down. I expect Albania to score at least 1 goal against Moldova. So my second tip would be over 1 goal. The odds are currently about 150. They dropped down a bit. It's at 146 right now. I wouldn't suggest, though, going for over 1.5 on Albania. I expect this game to be low scoring. Now, for the third tip, we head to Group H, a game between Finland and Northern Ireland. Guys, what happened to Finland? 3 losses in a row. They're officially out of it because they started off so well, the group. And Northern Ireland lost every single game except the 2 victories that they had against San Marino, which is an automatic W. But respect to San Marino, they actually managed to score 1 goal last game against Denmark. Huge. Overall, I think Finland is the better team. They already beat Northern Ireland away, and I just don't think they're going to end the group with 4 consecutive losses. I think they'll end it on a positive note. I'm going to be taking Finland over 1.5. Odds are currently at 226. Yes, I know it's risky, but my suggestion for you would be to go with over 1 goal, which is currently at odds 150. So I'm taking over 1.5 on Finland, and I suggest over 1. The safe pick for odds 150. Now, for the fourth and the last tip on Friday, we go back to Group E, a huge game. Poland against Czech Republic. This is a must-win game for Poland because they are 1 point behind Czech Republic, and Czech Republic have 1 more game in hand, and it's against Moldova. So that will depend on the outcome of the Moldova and Albania game, if Moldova still have something to play for. While if Poland don't win this game, they're officially out because they had to take care of business against Moldova, which they didn't. They should have won that game. It ended up in a 1-1 draw. And Czech Republic, they started off the group really well, but then they fell off. The last 3 results, 1-1 against Albania at home, then 3-0 they lost to Albania, so they played back-to-back games against Albania, and then they had a narrow victory against Faroe Islands, their last game. And yeah, they're in this position where they still risk, but I'm gonna be rolling with the more desperate team here on Poland at home. Odds are currently at 166 for over 1 goal. So this will be my last tip on Friday for Poland to score over 1 goal against Czech Republic. Now, let's start off with the Saturday's picks. It's a short day. We only have 2 picks. And let's go to Group D, a game between Armenia and Wales. Both teams still have a chance to qualify. Wales are in a much better spot. They have 10 points and Armenia has 7. Thanks to that loss that we had Actually, against Latvia, we had Armenia over 1 goal, and that was disappointing, and that hurt their chances to qualify. While Wales has been doing pretty good, 2 massive victories, especially the last one against Croatia at home, and I just like Wales' momentum here. I believe that they're going to be scoring against Armenia. I'm going to be taking Wales over 1 goal for odds 144. Now, for the last tip, we head to Group B, a game between Netherlands and Ireland. Netherlands are in a good spot to qualify. They have 12 points. That's the same as Greece, but Greece played 1 more game. However, this game, for some reason, smells fishy to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe because Netherlands are dealing with a lot of injuries, especially in defense. De Ligt is out, Ake is out, Botman is out, Van den Ven, also Timber is out for a long time. However, they still have Van Dijk and De Ligt in defense. But there's something about this game. I also thought that Ireland would be scoring at home last game. They did so. They could have scored more in that game. They had really good chances. And I believe Ireland is going to be scoring in this game. Maybe it's going to finish like 6-1. Anyway, I would call this more of a suggestion for Ireland to score for odds 250. Guys, let me know what you think about this game. Guys, so this is it for me. We have about 8 tips and a few suggestions. I'm also going to be releasing the second part of the international break for the Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays games. I think it's going to be out on Saturday. If you support this channel, hit the thumbs up. I always appreciate it. Also, comment down below the bets that you're going to be making, because I look at them and sometimes I take them. So bet responsibly. Most importantly, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.